First session of the second day of this conference, and in the panel there is a change. Professor Lakshman Rao would be moderating this session, and Dr. Ela from IIM Trichy will be one of the panel members. And because we were having too many people here, so my former colleague Tulika, she volunteered to drop out, so I'm very thankful to her. So I would request Professor Lakshman Rao to please come on the dais. As you all know, Professor Lakshman Rao has been in the profession, I think, I don't know for how many years, maybe 40 years?
2 years.
2 years. So he's as young as some of us. He's doyen of library science. And he has been very kind, you see, whenever we need any kind of support and help, he's always there. Now I would request another very distinguished person, Mr. Vishnu Vardhan, Chief Executive Officer, NTR Foundation.
Morning.
Okay, I think he'll join us a little later. May I now request Mr. Himanshu Giri, CEO, Pratham Books. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for coming, and I'm very grateful to you that you accepted our invitation.
Thank you.
I would now request Sri Pallas Bajori, co-founder Kahaniya. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I would now request Ms. Archana Joshi, who is director at Deepak Foundation. Thank you, madam. Thank you for coming. And I believe there was some problem for the breakfast. What we had, I think I should tell this to everyone. So whoever are here who are staying at the guest house, I think, see, we have asked them to give at least 3 dishes to other participants. But I believe they were giving only 1. And today when I asked them, because today I thought I should have breakfast there. So when I reached there, I found that they were giving only 1 dish, and if anybody requests, then they'll give the second or third dish. But what I came to know from some of the participants, that when I asked for the second dish, they said we don't have. So I'm very sorry for this, see, for all the inconveniences that you faced yesterday and today. But it is a lesson for me that from next time onwards, I should have my breakfast, lunch, and dinner in the guest house only. So I'm really very sorry for that. I would now request Dr. Manoj Kumar, who is a very prominent library professional and works with Inflibnet. Inflibnet, as you all know, has been hosting Shodh Ganga, all the theses that our universities are producing. I would now request Dr. Ela, a very good friend of mine from IIM Trichy, and I am very sorry, Ela, that you are not the moderator for this session, but I think it's good for you. You can put up all your points that you wanted to initially. I would now request Dr. C.K. Swain, who is a librarian at IIM Raipur. Thank you, Swain, for accepting our invitation.
Good morning, Manoj.
So I would now request Dr. Lakshman Rao to please take on this session. And we have a quick break at 12 noon. And this session will go up to 1:15 or so. We have 2 more people to talk. One is Mr. Anis, and the other is probably Mr. Saiful Amin. Okay. So I would request, yes, sir.
Today, the moment we get up or get out, sleep, before sleep also we talk about digital. Government says digital, library says digital. Only people are not able to say digital because so many government digital initiations are creating a lot of problems to the common man. That's what I feel. Anyway, now when we come to the libraries are really facing challenges in the context of digital media. We have seen earlier, starting from palm leaves up to the paper books or paper material. and these are appreciated. But when it comes to the present media, that is digital media, we are finding it little difficulty or rather challenges. The challenges start from availability, storage, and accessibility. Everywhere, access is the ultimatum. But before access, we should know what is available, where it is available. Now we know that there are lots of changes that have taken place over last 2 decades. Initially, they encouraged us with e-books, giving lots of facilities. Then slowly they cut down, saying that one user, 2 user, 5 user, you can't download, you can download only 1 page. And that's how they put on a lot of restrictions. And then we have also heard yesterday on DRM how they put restrictions on accessibility. But these things are handled with care by the special libraries and partly by academic libraries. When it comes to the public libraries, unfortunately, we have a lot of restrictions. First restriction is staff are not trained to make use of this. Second is the equipment. Third is funding. Fourth is lack of network among the public libraries. At least when we look into these things, the use of the digital media by the public libraries is going to be is a big challenge. And first and foremost, when we talk about it, how far the users are trained. This is also another important problem that we are likely to face. Everybody says smartphone, but smartphone is different from when you want to retrieve, when you want to search. Because the moment everybody says Google, when you search the Google, you find 9 lakhs, 10 lakhs. And out of 10 lakhs, how do you identify your 5 or 6? So looking into this, the availability context, I would like to say there are 2 types. One type is where you subscribe, and the second is where you are able to get in the public domain. Now, public libraries are not in a position to spend a lot of money. Unfortunately, even though they have funding, I would like to say that funding is not being properly used by public library system in the country. Even though we have 20 states acts, unfortunately, except to Kerala, Karnataka, even Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, they are not in good position, except other states are much more worse. So looking into this, when you say availability, as I said, first is subscription. Second is how far we will be able to tap the resources which are in public domain. Now, if you look into some of the websites, as I said, as I was talking earlier, if you take an example of Hathi Trust, it has more than 1.6 crores, out of which 60 lakhs are free. But this is one website I'm just saying. There are PDF drive are there, then internet archives are there. There are a lot of things are there. But public libraries is a challenge because lack of staff, lack of equipment, lack of training. How far they will be able to identify these documents and provide information, or I would like to say not available to accessibility as well as publicity. First is publicity, then the accessibility. So it is definitely going to be a challenge for public libraries. And we have seen that at least I can quote like an example, Telangana, we have more than 60% of the library posts are vacant. So in this context, how we will be able to face? So the challenges include equipment, purchase, staff training, then equipment, then user training. All these things have to be taken care, and all these are going to put hurdles for accessibility of the e-resources. Now, let us hear. This is the panelists, what they are going to say on the challenges, because everybody is experienced, well experienced, and let us hear them, and I'm sure they will be able to give lots of information based on their experience. Firstly, I request okay, let me start from that side. Vishnuvardhan? Yeah, please. Himanshu. I request Mr. Himanshu to come and present his book.
Morning, everyone. I first of all want to thank NASSCOM, SPLC, IPLM for giving this opportunity to be amongst you. And whatever perspective I'm going to give is purely from the children's literature point of view, what we have experienced. As you may be aware, some of you may be aware that Pratham, which is India's largest non-profit in the primary education, we are an offshoot of that. And I think, like Sir has very well put it, as one of the key challenges for us in our country is our demographic stats, which are huge. And accessibility and availability are the big questions when you have such demographic stats. With about close to 35 crore children in the 0 to 15 years category in our country, and having to have around 10 crore children in the top of the pyramid, which is the affordable and available section, जो सामर्थ हैं या पहुंच सकते हैं, देख सकते हैं, वो हमारी जनता है उस तरह की. तो with 25 crore audience, with 25 crore kids, how do you reach out to them? I think that's a tough task. Distribution, dissemination, आप कोक और शैम्पू और किताब किसी को भी ले लीजिए, सभी में समस्या है. It's a tough task to reach that last mile. I think somewhere we've been able to crack this, और मैं एक छोटी सी जर्नी के तहत आपको कोशिश करूंगा बताने की कि हमने क्या किया है प्रथम बुक्स में. और मैं ये भी समझता हूँ, क्योंकि आज हम ऑफलाइन ऑनलाइन के दौर में खड़े हैं, तो मेरे समझ में है कि प्रिंट एंड डिजिटल हैव टू गो हैंड इन हैंड. यू कांट रियली से कि ये रहेगा और वो नहीं रहेगा. और एक बड़ा छोटा सा उदाहरण मैं देना चाहता हूँ कि आज हम सब लोग स्मार्टफोन्स लेके घूमते हैं, बट मुझे नहीं, क्या यहाँ बैठे हुए लोगों में कोई ऐसा है जिसने डिजिटल वॉच पहनी हुई है? आई थिंक एवरीवन इज़ वेयरिंग एन एनालॉग वॉच, राइट? सो आई थिंक, और क्यों पहनी है शायद आप सब जानते हैं कि किसी का माँ से, भाई से, पिताजी से, खुद से, घड़ी से सबसे प्यार होगा. तो अगर हम एनालॉग घड़ी की बात करें तो वो दिल से है, और डिजिटल की बात करें तो वो दिमाग से है. आई थिंक बोथ हैव टू मैरी ईच अदर एंड हैव टू गो हैंड इन हैंड. Having said that, I think I clearly want to say that it's basically a mindset change, a perception. As an organization, we feel that we are an organization who wants to create a reading ecosystem. भले वो पब्लिक लाइब्रेरीज़ हैं, कम्युनिटी लाइब्रेरीज़ हैं, प्राइवेट रन लाइब्रेरीज़ हैं, बच्चों तक हम पहुँचेंगे कैसे? तो प्रथम बुक्स की जो स्थापना है वो 2004 में हुई थी वैसे, और बड़ा साफ सा मैंडेट था कि अफोर्डेबल किताबें क्रिएट करनी हैं बच्चों के लिए उनकी अपनी मातृभाषा में. क्योंकि रिसर्चेस में और बहुत सी जगह ये बताया गया है कि अगर बच्चे अपनी मातृभाषा में पढ़ते हैं तो दे बिकम बेटर परफॉर्मर्स इन लाइफ, इन वॉट एवर दे डू इन देयर फॉर्मेटिव ईयर्स. आई थिंक समवेयर द नीड for learning, the need or the push we are feeling about the aspirational need to learn English, वो कहीं ना कहीं किल करता है बच्चों को. और हम लोगों ने कई वर्कशॉप्स करी हैं जिसमें हमने देखा है कि बच्चे ना तो मातृभाषा जानते हैं, ना अंग्रेज़ी ठीक से जानते हैं, ना हिंदी के उनके शब्द टूटते हैं, उनको मात्राएं लगानी नहीं आती. तो बहुत बड़ी समस्या है. एंड आई थिंक दिस ऑल रिलेट्स टू द फॉर्मेटिव ईयर्स डेवलपमेंट ऑफ अ चाइल्ड. So our objectives were very clear: to provide clean, great, big access to all children in the country, irrespective of their stature. How we disseminate, हम लोग किताबें कैसे पहुंचाना चाहते हैं? तो जैसा कि आप लोग देख सकते हैं, लो कॉस्ट प्रिंट बुक्स एक मॉडल है जहाँ पे सब्सिडाइज्ड प्राइस हो और बच्चों तक किताबें पहुँचें. फ्री डिजिटल बुक्स हों, जिसमें कि हम डिजिटल की बात कर रहे हैं अभी, और एक्सेस को क्रिएट. देयर इज़ नो डाउट, if you can reach to 100 with print, you can reach to 50,000 with digital. Audio stories is a big movement in the Western world, और एक बहुत बड़ा shift आ रहा है with the mobile devices. तो ऑडियो स्टोरीज एक माध्यम है. हम लोग एक क्राउड फंडिंग प्लेटफॉर्म पे भी काम करते हैं, जिसके माध्यम से हम लोगों को फ्री फिजिकल बुक्स डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करते हैं। तो मैं चाहूँगा कि जब मैं व्हेन आई गो थ्रू दिस, यू मे अंडरस्टैंड, यू मे बेनिफिट, go back, look into your communities, your areas, and if you can take benefit of any of these, I urge that please do take, and we are happy to serve you and get back on any queries. ये बहुत अचीवमेंट्स कह रहे हैं हम, हालांकि अगर स्टैट्स जो मैंने बताए उसके मायने में बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं है। 2500 से अधिक प्रिंट में किताबें हम लोग 20 भाषाओं में प्रकाशित करते हैं। 6500 से ज़्यादा फ्री डिजिटल किताबें हमारे पास हैं 104 भारतीय और अंतर्राष्ट्रीय भाषाओं में। और यहाँ पे मैं बताना चाहूँगा कि किताबें लोकल और इंटरनेशनल डायलेक्ट्स में भी अवेलेबल हैं। सो किताबें आपको अगर भोजपुरी, मैथिली और गोंडी और कोरा और संथाली में भी चाहिए तो भी मिलेंगी, और मेन स्ट्रीम रीजनल लैंग्वेजेस में हैं, और इटालियन, हिब्रू, ज़ुलू, स्वाहिली, स्पेनिश, जापानीज़ में भी हैं, एंड ऑल अराउंड चिल्ड्रन। And whatever I'm talking today is purely non-academic, सिर्फ बच्चों में पढ़ने की रुचि को बढ़ाने के लिए है। हम लोगों ने कुछ क्लासरूम लाइब्रेरीज भी सेटअप करी हैं, 30 मिलियन से ज़्यादा कॉपीज़ डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करी हैं, एंड वी आर वेरी सब्सिडाइज्ड प्राइस मॉडल। तो 30-35 रुपए की किताबों का हमारा प्राइस रेंज है, और तकरीबन 50 मिलियन से ज़्यादा बच्चे देश भर में हमारी किताबें पढ़ते हैं आज। और अमेरिका में और देश भर विदेश में सबसे बड़ा लाइब्रेरी ऑफ कांग्रेस एक अवार्ड दिया जाता है संस्थाओं को जो अर्ली लिटरेसी में चेंज लाने की कोशिश कर रही है। हम उसके विनर्स भी रहे हैं लास्ट टाइम। और जो हमारा डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म है उसको वर्ल्ड बैंक ने हाल ही में वर्ल्ड की 20 बड़ी इनोवेशंस के अंडर उसे काउंट किया है। ये हमारी कुछ किताबों की झलकियां हैं जिसमें आप भाषाएं देख सकते हैं। ये क्लासरूम लाइब्रेरी मॉडल है हमारा, जिसकी कि आपको जान के बड़ी खुशी होगी कि ये हैदराबाद में ही पैदा हुआ था। हम लोग एक प्रोजेक्ट कर रहे थे और यहाँ पे उसके तहत हमने जब लोगों को किताबें दी तो उन्होंने कहा कि किताबें जो हैं वो आप दे तो रहे हैं मगर हमारे पास जगह नहीं है रखने की, और किताबें फ्लिक होती हैं, डैमेज होती हैं, बहुत कुछ होता है। तो बहुत सारी समस्याओं के साथ लाइब्रेरियंस ने हमें कहा कि कुछ तो लाइए। तो हम लोगों ने इसको एक एज अ प्रोजेक्ट लिया, और सृष्टि स्कूल ऑफ डिज़ाइन बेंगलोर में हम लोगों ने बच्चों को एक टास्क दिया कि ऐसा कोई सोल्यूशन दें जो कि आज के दौर में जिपेबल, हैंगेबल, लॉकेबल, मूवेबल किस्म की लाइब्रेरी हो। दीवार पे लगा लो, खिड़की पे लगा लो, पीपल के पेड़ के नीचे लगा लो, कहाँ पढ़ना चाहते हैं वहाँ ले जाइए बैग को। तो हमने सक्सेसफुली इस बैग को यहाँ से शुरू किया था, और आज पिछले 3-4 सालों में हम 6000 से अधिक लाइब्रेरीज ऐसी इंस्टॉल कर चुके हैं। और बहुत दूर दराज के इलाकों में मैं समझता हूँ कि लेह लद्दाख से लेके और नीचे कन्याकुमारी तक और अरुणाचल प्रदेश में सरकारी प्रोजेक्ट्स में, गैर सरकारी संस्थाओं में आपको ये सब जगह मिलेंगी। अब अगर बात करें डिजिटल की, तो 2004 में हमारा जब जन्म हुआ था और 5 सालों तक हमने 5 मिलियन या 5 करोड़ बच्चों तक, जब 50 लाख बच्चों तक जब हम पहुंच पाए तो हमें लगा हमारे मॉडल में कुछ गड़बड़ी है। अगर हम मॉडल अपना रीजिग नहीं करते तो हम कभी भी अपने देश के जो इतने बड़े नंबर्स हैं इसको अचीव नहीं कर सकते। एंड आई थिंक टेक्नोलॉजी से बढ़िया कुछ भी नहीं है स्केल करने के लिए। तो हमने 2009 में ओपन सोर्स मॉडल, जैसा कि कल आप लोगों को बताया गया था, आई थिंक हमारे सिमेंटिक कंसल्टिंग के जो साथी थे उन्होंने बताया कि ओपन सोर्स क्या होता है और क्यों उसके क्या फ़ायदे हैं। तो हम लोगों ने इस मॉडल को 2009 में अडॉप्ट किया था थ्रू अ प्लेटफॉर्म कॉल्ड क्रिएटिव कॉमन्स। और ये ऐसा प्लेटफॉर्म है जो कि आपको बहुत कुछ अलाउ करता है इन टर्म्स ऑफ एक्सेसिंग द कंटेंट। सो आई विल जस्ट टेक यू थ्रू। हम लोगों ने ये 2014 में शुरू किया था प्रोजेक्ट स्टोरी वीवर का। ये एक हमने जब अपना ओपन लाइसेंस करना शुरू किया था तो जब हम 20 किताबें पब्लिक डोमेन में डालते थे तो वो फट से 50 बन जाती थी, क्योंकि हम लोगों ने लोगों को एक्सेस दिया टू रीड, क्रिएट, ट्रांसलेट, रीसेल, रीप्राइस। आप हमारी किताब के साथ कुछ भी कर सकते हैं, सिर्फ एट्रीब्यूशन देना ज़रूरी है। तो जब हम 20 देते थे तो 60 बनती थी, 60 देते थे तो 100 बनती थी, 20 देश थे तो 60 देश हो गए, 1 मिलियन से 5 मिलियन डाउनलोड्स हो गए। इस तरह से हमारा मॉडल चलता रहा और 2014 में जब हमारी मुलाकात गूगल से हुई तो गूगल को हमारा मॉडल बहुत पसंद आया और 2014 से और अभी तक गूगल के साथ हम बहुत क्लोजली काम करते हैं, बिकॉज गूगल भी बहुत बिलीव करता है इन टर्म्स ऑफ गिविंग एक्सेस एंड मेकिंग इट ओपन फॉर पीपल हु विल अदरवाइज बी, जैसा हमारा कॉन्फ्रेंस का है टॉपिक, रीचिंग द अनरीच्ड। इट्स ओनली थ्रू अ मीडियम लाइक दिस। जैसा कि मैंने कहा, आप पढ़ सकते हैं, क्रिएट कर सकते हैं, आप अपनी भाषा में ट्रांसलेट कर सकते हैं। इस प्लेटफॉर्म पे अगर आप जाएं और आपकी भाषा में अगर किताब नहीं है तो ट्रांसलिटरेशन टूल है जिसकी मदद से आप उस पर ट्रांसलेट कर सकते हैं, आप डाउनलोड कर सकते हैं, अपने कार्यक्रमों में यूज़ कर सकते हैं, उसको रीलेवल कर सकते हैं, टेक्स्ट को कॉम्प्लेक्स से सिंपल, सिंपल टू कॉम्प्लेक्स कर सकते हैं अपने हिसाब से, और एक रिसोर्स टूल की तरह यूज़ कर सकते हैं, एक टीचिंग लर्निंग मटेरियल की तरह यूज़ कर सकते हैं। एंड जैसा कि मैंने कहा, सब कुछ ओपन है। ये जब हमने 2015 में शुरू किया था तो हमने 800 किताबें और 24 भाषाओं से शुरू किया था, और आज अगर आप देखें ग्राफ तो 6,500 किताब 104 भाषाएं पे आज हम खड़े हैं। 4.5 लाख से ज़्यादा इसके यूज़र्स हैं, 2 मिलियन से ज़्यादा इसकी रीडरशिप है, और तकरीबन हम 2 लाख डाउनलोड्स तक पहुंच रहे हैं। ये सब छोटे से समय में है, ये शायद प्रिंट से संभव नहीं था इतना दूर तक पहुंचना। ये वो प्लेटफॉर्म है जो मैंने बताया आपको कि डोनेट अ बुक। इस प्लेटफॉर्म पे अगर आप संस्थाओं को रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं, आप इस पे आएँ, अपने बारे में बताएं, और अपने बच्चों के साथ आप इसमें एक फ्री में लाइब्रेरी सोर्स कर सकते हैं, फिजिकल लाइब्रेरी अपने बच्चों के लिए। इसमें हमने तकरीबन जैसा लिखा है कि 250 ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस को 1 लाख से अधिक किताबें हम लोग अभी तक पहुंचा चुके हैं। सो व्हाट वी आर ट्राइंग टू डू इज बेसिकली टू रियली फ्लड देम विद बुक्स। एक जो समस्या थी जिससे कि प्रथम बुक्स पैदा हुआ था कि किताबें कहाँ हैं, कैसे मिलेंगी, और जैसा कि मैंने बताया कि हमारे लिए आज जो ड्राइवर है वो है कंटेंट, और वो डिसेमिनेट किस माध्यम से होगा, वो कैसे पहुंचेगा, चाहे वो ऑडियो है, चाहे वो वीडियो है, चाहे वो पीडीएफ है, चाहे वो प्रिंट बुक है, दैट डजंट मैटर। आप एक क्लासरूम के अंदर आपको एक एंगेजमेंट लाना है, आज पढ़ेंगे, कल देखेंगे, परसों सुनेंगे, और ऐसे। तो ये सब चीज़ें काफ़ी मायने रखती हैं। इसी को देखते हुए हम लोगों ने ऑडियो प्रोजेक्ट भी किया, और नैस्कॉम के साथ ही हम जुड़े थे। इसके लिए हम वोडाफोन फाउंडेशन की तरफ से हमारे को एक मौका मिला, और हम लोगों ने बच्चों में सुनने की जो, अगर आप देखें, जो फॉर्मेटिव ईयर्स में LSRW, एक लिसन, स्पीक, रीड एंड राइट, जो बच्चा फॉर्मेटिव ईयर्स में सीखता है, आई थिंक लिसनिंग इज़ द वेरी फर्स्ट स्किल फॉर द किड। और बच्चों को कहानियाँ सुनने के लिए हम लोगों ने एक कैंपेन चलाया, अभी हाल ही में ख़त्म हुआ है, 5 राज्यों में चलाया, जिसमें बच्चों को फ्री में मिस्ड कॉल देके कहानियाँ सुनने का मौका मिले। और जैसा आप देख सकते हैं, इसमें हमने 15 लाख से ज़्यादा मिनट की कहानियाँ 5 स्टेट्स में 50,000 बच्चों तक हमने पहुँचाई। तो और बेसिक फ़ोन्स हैं, स्मार्टफोन्स हैं, लैंडलाइंस हैं, आप कर सकते हैं। मैंने नंबर भी दिया हुआ है, अगर आप ट्राई करें तो अभी भी चलेगा। और इसके साथ ही मैं अब एक चीज़ और कहना चाहूँगा कि जहाँ हम तो काफ़ी बड़े पैमाने पे हमने वो क्रैक कर लिया है कि एक्सेस कैसे होगा। अब हमको है काउंसल करना, उसको फैलाना। आप सब लोगों की यहाँ जो हम संस्थाएं जिनके साथ काम करते हैं उनकी मदद से, कि जो अवेलेबल है वो कहाँ अवेलेबल है और आप कैसे सोर्स करेंगे। आप पब्लिक लाइब्रेरी हैं, आप कम्युनिटी लाइब्रेरीज़ हैं, और बहुत सारे इनिशिएटिव्स देश भर में चल रहे हैं। हम लोग इतनी संस्थाओं के साथ काम करते हैं। लेह लद्दाख में एक 17,000 फीट नाम की संस्था है जो 2 पैरेलल लाइब्रेरी साथ में चलाती है। एक सरकारी लाइब्रेरी है जिसमें कि हिसाब किताब देना पड़ता है, आपको सारा रखना पड़ता है, और एक ओपन लाइब्रेरी है जहाँ किताब खो सकती है, फट सकती है, सब कुछ हो सकता है। तो एक अंकल मूसा हैं अरुणाचल प्रदेश में जो कम्युनिटी लाइब्रेरीज चलाते हैं। बिरबुन डिस्ट्रिक्ट में व बंगाल में सूचना नाम की संस्था है, बड़ी अच्छी लाइब्रेरीज चलाती है। कोयम्बटूर में कम्युनिटी राइजिंग है। प्राइवेट इनिशिएटिव्स इतने हैं जो कि अगर आपके पास पब्लिक लाइब्रेरीज का एक्सेस नहीं है तो आप कम्युनिटी लाइब्रेरीज का एक्सेस कर सकते हैं. द आइडिया इज, बम्बई में मेरे ख्याल से हैदराबाद और बेंगलोर में जस्ट बुक्स है, एक प्राइवेट लाइब्रेरीज हैं, 30-35 लाइब्रेरीज हैं. आप चाहें तो 500 रुपये 400 रुपये में 15-20 किताबें एक्सेस कर सकते हैं. कहीं से लें किताब और कहीं पे दे दें, ये भी सुविधा उपलब्ध है. तो मैं घूम फिर के आ जाता हूँ कि माइंडसेट की बात है. व्हाट वी वांट टू डू, इफ़ वी ओपन आवर आइज, if we really want to deep dive it, there are tremendous possibilities available for you to explore the world, and there is no divide between the digital and the print in our sense. We took this step 10 years back and we feel that we are way off. 50 मिलियन बच्चों तक हम नहीं पहुंच पाते अगर हम सारे माध्यमों को साथ लेके नहीं चलते. I think it's a time for us to take both things in parallel. और दूसरा, जैसा मैंने कहा कि एक हमारे को ज़रूरत है बच्चों में पढ़ने की रुचि बढ़ाने की. वो अगर बढ़ जाएगी तो वो अपने आप पब्लिक, प्राइवेट, कम्युनिटी लाइब्रेरी तक पहुंच जाएगा बच्चा अपने आप. मगर हम कितना पुश देते हैं वो ज़्यादा मायने रखता है. इसके साथ मैं लगभग मेरा प्रेजेंटेशन ख़त्म है, बट मैं एक आप लोगों को छोटी सी फिल्म दिखा के छोड़ना चाहता हूँ जो कि शायद मदद करेगी समझने में कि बच्चों को पढ़ाने के लिए
मेरे बस्ते की जेब में रखी चॉकलेट जैसी मीठी कहानी हो. होमवर्क कर लो, खाना खा लो, दिन भर कह कह के सताती हो. पढ़ पढ़कर सिर्फ तुम रात को किस्सों की सर कराती हो. हैप्पी बर्थडे. ये तुमने लिखा है? वाह मेरी नन्ही शायरा. अच्छा बताओ, आज इम्तिहान के नतीजे आने वाले थे ना? डैडी ने मैथ्स में 45 आउट ऑफ 50, हिंदी में 48. अरे वाह, हमारी इंग्लिश तो काफी होशियार है. अरे ये क्या है? इंग्लिश की टेस्ट शीट. लेकिन ये खाली क्यों है? इसमें मुझे अपना सपना लिखना था अंग्रेजी में. तो मुनीजा, तुम तो अंग्रेजी स्कूल में ही पढ़ती हो, लिखा क्यों नहीं? मम्मी, हमें अंग्रेजी सपने नहीं आते. मेरे सपने में सिर्फ तुम होती हो, अब्बू होते हैं, रेलवे के पेड़ होते हैं, नदी की नदियाँ होती हैं, पूरी के झूले होते हैं, खिलौने के पहाड़ होते हैं, जिनमें परियां भी होती हैं, कभी कभी नाना नानी आते हैं. तो तुम ही बताओ, इसमें कौन बात करते हैं अंग्रेजी में? मम्मी, हम सबको तो अंग्रेजी सीख रहे हैं, अब हमारे सपनों को तो अपनी ज़बान में रहने दो.
मातृभाषा नींव होती है. नींव मजबूत होगी तो मुश्किल से मुश्किल सबक भी आसान हो जाएगा. बच्चों को उनकी अपनी जबान सिखाइए. उन्हें अपनी मातृभाषा में किताबें पढ़ने के लिए प्रोत्साहित कीजिए.
चलिए, थैंक यू वेरी मच. हम लोगों ने ये एक उर्दू चिल्ड्रंस लिटरेचर के साथ कुछ काम किया था, जहाँ अनीस भाई बैठे हैं पीछे. इन्होंने भी हमारे साथ काफ़ी मदद करी उसमें, और उसके तहत हम लोगों ने ये फिल्म करी थी टाटा ट्रस्ट की मदद से. थैंक यू वेरी मच.
Whenever I go for a lecture, because I had an opportunity to come to your office, I saw the books, I saw whatever you are doing. Because today we don't have libraries in the schools. At least those who are having the smartphone or a computer, they can access your books. They are in different languages. I just saw lots of books where I spent about a couple of hours in our office also. And this is a wonderful step. Only thing is this has to be publicized into the schools so that your attempts your efforts will reach to more and more to people in rural, especially in rural areas. As a matter of fact, such books are very expensive if you buy outside. Only your books are cheaper comparatively other books. You are just 30-35 rupees, and that is really a great service. And I also appreciate because you have moved from print to digital, and they are freely accessible. That is one of the best service that you are providing. And I think probably through you, the schools and the rural areas, they will be able to get accustomed to use the digital media, and especially the public libraries need to put them on their network and give hyperlinks so that they will be able to access these books. And especially once at the child starts using the network, and I am sure by the time they grow, they get accustomed and there will be no problem for public libraries and academic libraries also. And it's a nice effort. We all congratulate you for your work. I request Mrs. Archana ji to present her.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everybody. I would like to thank the organizers to give me an opportunity to share what Deepak Foundation is doing in terms of library services. And it's also a great platform for me to learn what is going on, because this sector is not a traditional sector in which Deepak Foundation works. So I would like to give a brief information about what is Deepak Foundation. May not be very well known or may not be known at all. We were supported by a corporate group, Deepak Nitrite Limited and Deepak Petrochemical and Fertilizers, about 35 years ago. And as you all know that most Jain communities, they do a lot on religious, temples and all. But our chairman, he was a very poor man, and he lived came up from great poverty. So he said, if I have grown up, I also would like, to do something for the community, and I don't want to spend money on temples and buildings and infrastructure. I would rather spend on softer issues, which is needful for the poor people. And because he was very poor, he could not afford health services. So we started with maternal and child care health facilities, which unfortunately I don't know whether Amir is here, but Amir was there when he was studying in Irma, and he had come along with Sheila Dixit to inaugurate that health facility in 1982. So we are 35 years old organization, quietly working in the sector of health, nutrition, preschool education and livelihood promotion in very remote areas where services are not available. We also believe that as private sector or as an autonomous foundation, we can only do little. We cannot do the way the government can work, and we do not have that resources and outreach that the government can do. So what we do is also partner with the government, which is a very tough act, very difficult, but we are continuing working with the government. So one of our major projects, some of our major projects are in PPP mode, where we use the government infrastructure and add on some contribute towards service delivery, so that free and good quality services are available, particularly to the tribal areas, to the tribal poor who cannot afford, and also lapse into below poverty line because of the expenses on healthcare. Like that, we go for working with the farmers, particularly promoting women farmers. So how did we get into the library sector? It's an interesting story. We were working in Roha, which is a tribal area in Maharashtra, and providing mobile health services because in these areas the government health facilities were almost closed. People prefer, we all know that about 60 to 70% of the population seeks services from private sector. And in these remote areas, even private sectors, those who are there are also not qualified. Sometimes they are, quacks or as some people go for traditional method of treatment. And there were no services in terms of when there was a crisis. So we started with the mobile health services in about 23 to 25 villages in remote areas of Roha, which is a tribal area. So during summer vacation, when we started the services, we realized a lot of children during summer vacation would do nothing, play in the sand and play in the areas, in the field. And many of them, when we talked to, they had nothing to do. They would just chat and they would see elders playing cards and all those things. And so we were wondering what these children are doing during the summertime. And so we thought, let us engage them and in a constructive way. So we were thinking that we should do something with these children who are out of school. The concept came that, like us when we were children, we used to, during vacation, summer vacation, collect champak, chanda mama, all books and story books, and also give as library. So we used to maintain library in a very crude way and give these books in exchange, because not all of us could afford to buy these books. So we thought we will have this kind of a services for children who are not able to go to school, because library typically when you talk, it is in school. So what do we do for the children who are not going to school, who do not have access to school, or even are not going to school regularly, and those who are avoiding school. So we thought of having story books as a concept of reaching out to these children. Now what was the concept? I think you can try to download that.
I have downloaded it.
Okay, then I have a film on what the concept was. The concept was very simple. That can we promote self-reading among children in a manner that they become curious to learn more. So what we started doing, we did not reinvent on having, purchasing books. We learned about Pratham, so we got their books. We came to know about all other sources of books. So we got those books and we identified a storyteller in these villages, 25 villages. We trained those storytellers in the art of narrating a story. We used these books, but we also thought that we will stop the story at a very crucial form, at a crucial stage, and then ask the children to complete those stories with a concept that it would, we promote their imagination, creativity, and the art to narrate, and also in the process develop some self-confidence to speak in front. So what we did was, irrespective of age and gender, we collected children, and this Kathakar would collect children in the community out of school, and they would narrate the story and stop. And then children would be asked to come and narrate, different age groups, different gender. So it was gender neutral, it was age neutral, and also promoted creativity. Sometimes the narrator would say, okay, I'm not going to ask any one of you to complete the story. If you want to know what happened at the end, you have to read this book. So, and we envisage that the next 10 years, the formal system of schooling will gradually go down, and mostly people will go on self-learning. Because you have mobile, you have internet, mostly you have Facebook, you have all sorts of access to information, and WhatsApp groups. People will be accessing information from all these sources, and I think the teaching will be more assignment based. So we thought that we would promote self-learning and also self-confidence among these children, because every child we believe is intelligent. Every child needs to be given that conducive environment to grow, at least at the initial stage. So our target beneficiaries are from 5 years and above. This is a small film, but this film was made about 3 or 4 years ago. We have changed our methodology a little, so I hope we'll be able to put back film. So the whole story is how these Kathakars go, and we were demonstrating that how they use different ways of dancing. And one more way of teaching is where we ask the children to draw the stories. So that they piece together the stories. We also take some of the stories and have a drama. So it's more engaging. So when we were doing these in different villages, and then the school teachers came to us, the school principal came to us and said that in the government schools there is no library, there is no books. So can you also cover the schools? So we said okay. So now we are also, because of the demand, we are now also providing services in the schools. And with the schools, we are trying to bridge the gap. Now once whatever intervention we do, we would like to measure the outcome. Because there are, it's very difficult to measure the outcomes. So what we are doing is now trying to scale those who are regularly attending these story sessions and those who have not from the same age cohort. We are trying to see the differences in their learning abilities, in their ability to complete a story or speak in public, and give them a score so that then we will see to what level we were able to make a difference with evidence-based research findings. So this is the stage from February to March. We will be evaluating the children who are regularly attending the stories, how to make them digitally savvy. Now the biggest challenge is the connectivity and electricity and resources to have computers so that we are able to link to those children. Even mobile phones is a prized privilege. Forget the smartphone. So one of the challenges is how to have a maximum reach within the villages. We also feel that the village level should be self-sufficient in terms of education, in terms of basic resources, because so much of migration is happening, so much of urbanization is happening. So how do we overcome this challenge to have digital access, to have films? And we also don't want it to be completely digital because we feel that human touch, human connect is very, very important for the children. And again, we are not emphasizing so much on education, class 1, class 2, class 3. We are only using storybooks. But now, one of the challenges we are facing is also we would like to create awareness on nutrition, importance of nutrition, because we are doing so badly, India is doing so badly in terms of under 5 mortality and under infant mortality, maternal mortality, and undernutrition. Especially stunting is a big problem in our country, and we are worse than Bangladesh, our neighboring countries who are doing much better. So how we can use stories or how we can develop digital content in the form of stories so that the messages on nutrition, on health, which is not boring, to be accessed by children and their mothers, because children and the maternal connection, it is not that we identify one person. It is the family who needs to be educated, and that is why we want to go out of school so that it is the community. Anybody can sit in the story session. Even a Dada Dadi can sit. Anybody, it's open to all. So here again, with this nutrition and health messages that can be woven through stories, then probably that connect will come. And that is one of the challenges that we are facing. The challenges of accessibility, the challenges of resources. I would not say but again, language also barrier, thanks to agencies like Pratham, we can have access to certain audio thing. But to have this as regular session is a big problem because of connectivity, because of electricity issue. So how to make it regular, how to make it and institutionalize this practices, at least from government schools, if it is available, is something that we are working on, and we are trying to join government to see how best this can be leveraged. And again, we didn't want to restrict it to school. Can Panchayat, can other agencies also have this kind of facilities where stories are shared and knowledge is open to various community groups. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Archana madam. I know everything starts with zero, and you are able to reach to certain destination. And only thing I wanted to say is that if you want to accelerate your activity, why don't you rope in the director of public libraries or the library associations, where libraries in every state. Or you can catch one or two NGOs, because then your activity gets multiplied at the earliest. Because your work, I know everybody appreciates, and it needs to reach as early as possible so that everybody gets benefit of it. Thank you, Varchanaji. Now I request Mr. Pallav, co-founder of the Kahania, to please.
Good morning all. I'd like to start by thanking Pratham Books. You've been a great source of inspiration for us for the last couple of years or so. I cannot tell you how many times we've looked at Pratham for inspiration on various things.
Our job is done.
I also understand you want to pick with these kind of sessions, honestly. So you're making me sit with someone who's been there for 10 years, someone for 35 years. There are a lot of wisdom to share. We as an organization are only a couple of years old. And the most important thing for us is we are a for-profit entity, whereas the rest of the session that we've heard so far have been not-for-profit. So it makes us come off as some sort of villains who are trying to commercialize everything. But anyway, we believe commercial aspects are important to the system. So we as Kahania, we are building or we are evolving something that we call the language economy. So to give you a perspective what Mr. Himanshu said about the bridge between the language in which you understand the world and the language in which you are pursuing your profession. If there's a gap between the two ends, then there's an imbalance in how far you can go as a human being. Right? So if you talk to your parents in Telugu, if you understand the basics of your world in Telugu, and yet if you're pushed towards English for only professional reasons, as the film in fact elucidates very well, there's a gap. That is also a source of inspiration for us in terms of how we think about what we're doing. So when I say we are a for-profit entity, we are not ashamed of it, we are in fact a little proud of it. And our focus is majorly on the production end of things. So far we've heard about how efforts are being made in terms of distributing content, in terms of making people read, especially kids, etc. Whereas our focus is more on the production end of things. How do we get more and more people to write? And how do we turn writing into something that is economically viable for the writers themselves? One of the tragedies that we are seeing as an organization today and as a person as well. So I read a lot of non-fiction books. My entire reading is pretty much non-fiction. And even if there's fiction, I'm reading special kind of fiction, all that aside. But if you're looking at the broader picture that exists in the country today, everyone knows about Bitcoin. How many people have not heard about Bitcoin? Everybody knows about Bitcoin. Right? But if you take 100 people, 90% of them know Bitcoin for the only reason that its price spiked by 10,000 times in the last 3 years. No one really understands what Bitcoin is, why its price is going up. And in a country like India, there's other challenge that very few kids are really interested in exciting things like space or multi-planetary travel or things like that. And even in families, we don't talk about it. Even in schools, we don't talk about it. Whereas when we look at a similar ecosystem in other countries, there's massive space programs or space-based education even for kids at a very young age. So there's a lot of knowledge gap as well. And that knowledge gap exists because there's not enough production in that space, knowledge production in that space. No one is really talking about space or Mars in Telugu. The most important, or the most that we hear about Mars travel is when ISRO launches a rocket to Mars or Mars mission, something like that. But beyond that, no one really understands what Mars is or what Moon is, or how many planets exist in the entire universe. At least in our country, in our language, we don't do that. So these are some of the aspects which we believe are important to a comprehensive growth of children, etc. And even from an adult standpoint, right? If we are trying to invest, so I'm not sure if anyone is tracking Bitcoin as an investment engine, but I do that a little bit. So in the last week, Bitcoin's price fell down by 50%. And if anyone had invested in Bitcoin just because they saw on the news that Bitcoin is going up and up, you've lost 50% of your investment in just 1 week's time. So most of the initial adopters of Bitcoin have done that because they believe in the fundamentals of Bitcoin. Because there's knowledge about Bitcoin that is available to them. That knowledge, that similar levels of knowledge are not available in our languages. And our primary intention with Kahania is to create some sort of content ecosystem that is global, that is local, and that is omniscient. We are talking not just about children's literature, we are talking about personal finance, we are talking about institutional finance, we are talking about space programs, we are talking about science, mathematics, etc. So there's a whole range of opportunity that exists in regional language content productions, and no one has tapped that yet. And that is what we are trying to do with Kahania. We are barely a couple of years old as an organization, about 1 year old as a publicly available platform. And we today have about 1,500 different writers, storytellers rather, producing content on Kahania. And they're producing content for general audience consumption. They're producing content that they can actually cross-sell to different organizations for different purposes, etc. So our job as an organization is to enable economic opportunities to writers, and especially in Indian vernacular languages. Because when there is economic opportunity, there will be a lot more engagement, is what we believe. And that's what we do as an organization. Thank you very much for doing as a space here. So,
for children or only adults?
So there is children's literature as well. So our model with Kahania is that we are giving writers different ways of putting their content in Kahania. In fact, you can publish your content to be available for readers for free, or you can even charge readers as low as 1 rupee per story or 2 rupees per story, or you can even charge people 100 rupees for an entire book. So we have different models that are available for writers. So in fact, it's interesting that you mentioned children. So children is one of the top 3 selling categories on Kahania. Right? So when we are talking about children's literature, we sometimes assume that it has to be free because children will not be able to afford pay and whatnot. But children's is the top selling category on Kahania, but each of those stories are valued only at 2 rupees a story or 3 rupees a story. This is a small sum for a parent to pay for a story. But when there's 1,000 parents paying, it's actually 30 or 3,000 rupees for a writer for one story. And these are interesting ways in which writers are also figuring out to monetize whatever they work. So that's how we've been functioning. And
You have a portal here.
yes, kahania.com, kahania.com.
This is for all languages or only English and Telugu?
So this is for 11 languages including English. But as I said, we are a fairly new organization. We are trying to tackle one language at a time. So we've so far done very well in Telugu. Now we are expanding into Hindi. So over the next couple of months or so, we'll see a lot of activity in Hindi as well.
We have another 3 people from academic background, so why should we wait for, and we should not forget what they have said. So I would like to have 10 minutes question session to the 3 presenters, please. Yeah, Professor.
A small inquisition. All the presentations were so impressive. So I was trying to understand that so much happens on the other side of the world, which we were ignored now. For example, I was trying to figure out the role of libraries or librarians in this whole plethora of work that you undertake at the ground level.
Possible, you do Pratham does its own level, and you do Madam at your own level, Kahania does its own level. But somehow I wanted a uniform platform so that the librarians, it's by chance that I happen to interact with you. Otherwise, there are thousands of libraries in this country who never have an iota of idea what's going on. So is there any way Chairman sir could ask someone to enlighten us that how do we have a unified access to something what's happening, maybe particularly on the vernacular level, through different organizations at different levels in different states, as a overall roadmap type of a thing. So that what I was trying to figure out is so that I chose some agencies or schools or libraries or audience, I tried to figure out, okay, this is what it is, has been done, kindly get benefit at appropriate level.
Hand mic, sir.
One thing, hello, is that better? Yeah. So one thing I wanted to really offer from our end as Pratham Books is we're very always happy to be, coming and volunteering and do a counseling session, but with the librarians, a group of librarians, if it works. And I think we've been doing quite a lot of such workshops. We have done it at the metro level with many librarians, making them aware about the accessibility and availability of such resources. We have to take that second step to get into, the government model. I mean, we've done it with government also, but not, I would say sort of a deep dive. So, I mean, sitting here in Telangana, I'm offering that if the government wants to get a program, a workshop, a 2-3 day thing organized, where they would like us to take them through the platform, the repository of what's happening in the world, we are happy to come and do it for them. And we are happy to do it with the private and all the players. See, I'm a librarian and the principal, they are the key people in a system. They are the drivers of the whole system there. So it has to be very well equipped and informed at all points of time. Unfortunately, we just get so busy in our daily schedules that we don't really get to see what's happening in the outside world. So, I mean, we are, as an organization, we are very open in, coming, sharing. But again, like I said, we don't have a great, we don't work beyond the 0 to 15 years age group. But we are happy to do anything in that space with either government, non-profits, for-profits, whosoever wishes to do it in some form and space.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very important concern. And as chairperson of the session also pointed out, what we in the schools, there are no libraries in these schools. And library is not there in the government schools, which is a tragedy. Especially I'm talking about the tribal areas, hard to reach areas. And so there is a question of training them. So what when the school asked us that can you, come and share the books with the school children, we engage our Kathakar and their supervisor, who are senior and more educated, to share these stories in the school. So there is no, a proper librarian in these schools. But yes, I think that has a very thought-provoking concern that can we approach the education department, whether they sanction these positions, whether these positions can be filled on an ad hoc basis. And yes, I fully agree that if there is a monetary incentive to do this, then you will have a cadre of a librarian and who could be trained by the Library Association. And this is very much the need. We must think on those directions. We have not thought. It is just during this, when you ask this question, I realized because we work so much with the governments. And when there are no specialists in the hospitals, we bring those specialists. We tell the government, you pay your share as per the guidelines of National Health Mission, and whatever the top-up, whatever the additional incentive is there, we will give. So we make the package attractive for the specialists to come and work in the tribal areas. So why can't we do the same in the education system? Yeah, for the librarian. Make a package attractive for them, for people to come. And if they are not there, we need to train them. So one of the notes which I have taken down that our Kathakars also need to be trained in maintaining a library. because the books will be torn, will be spoiled, will be not returned, will disappear. So how to maintain these books, and also maintain the utilization of these books, because we want to prepare a list of books and which book is most in demand, so that we also look for those in demand and analyze the data to say which one is more popular among the children. So all that training also needs to be given on how to maintain the registers of the books which are issued, returned, and all those things. So this needs to be, should be thought in partnership with the government, and whether we can attract and create these posts, because many times these posts remain vacant and then it gets removed from the education system altogether.
I believe one of the aspects of the question is also that is there some sort of an information ecosystem that is keeping you constantly posted about what's happening in the vernacular library or reading space. So that is actually an interesting opportunity. Thank you for that. I haven't come across anything as such. There are organizations that are tracking this from a commercial enterprise standpoint, which startups are coming in the regional language space, what they're doing. But at a wholesome ecosystem level, I haven't seen anything. But I do believe that's an interesting space for someone to keep a Wikipedia sort of a structure for the entire thing. Honestly, I don't know anything that exists so far, but it's something that we might look at. So, thank you.
Any other question, please? Short question, please.
I have one point to make and also a question with regard to the entire concept of IPL. My point is that the bigger challenge, the larger challenge is basically to take people into loop from unorganized and informal sector. There is a large number of population which is out of loop of education system, and they need access to public libraries from an affordable approach. So, we have to reach out to at Mohalla levels, where people can access library from a distance of about 1 kilometer, 1.5 kilometer only. So, how it can be done, because the challenge is so gigantic, is that you have to collaborate with the communities at local levels through various means. For example, I give an example here. I live very close to Jamia Islamia, and when I shifted to this locality, there was no public library as such. We tried to find a location there, but we couldn't, because it is very expensive. So somehow we were able to convince the Jamia Nagar police station to open a library there. And they somehow accepted the idea, and for the last 5 years, there is a public library in the Jamia Nagar police station which is running very successfully. So this is how you can collaborate at local level through various agencies which have some space, or even through some, resident welfare association which can provide some kind of access. What we need is a platform which can reach out to people and convince them that we have some infrastructure, we have some support system, and we will be able to provide this kind of, reading material and other human resources also. So I think there is no dearth of, such kind of, organization which can come forward and provide, partnership kind of thing. So this is how IPLM can really reach out to an organized informal sector which is out of any kind of any formal education system. And this is how you can reach out to a large number of population which is very deprived to this kind of access. So I wonder how IPLM can reach out to this entire idea of public movement into collaborative kind of mode and work with the people at grassroots level. So this is my small point also and a small question also. Thank you.
As a registered NGO, so my question is for Brotherhood Books. So first of all, I congratulate to you for donating the books, and as well as you are doing such a good thing. And my question is, why can't you print a career guidance book or any other special books for those who are studying at the standard secondary level, for know what is going on further and what to do further and what is the career path, the way of path for build their career. So I want to ask.
So I want
want to tell for Yuva.
Please sit down. Sit down, please.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, now you can answer.
Sure. So I think it's a good question to ask to a publisher like us. But there is something where your expertise lies. And where our expertise as a content creator lies is in the children's literature section. I think as an organization, we are not fit to be producing a career or a secondary or a senior secondary level book. So if you ask Macmillan, does the school books to start doing medical books, it lies with Elsevier. It doesn't lie with it lies with the McGraw-Hill and the Pearsons of the world. So I take thank you for applauding us, and I think our effort has always been to infuse fresh blood in the children's literature segment, whether it is an author, illustrator, a book, in whichever way possible. But that's our core skill set, our expertise, our heart lies in the children's literature section. So I don't think that we will ever get into producing those level books.
Thank you very much. Actually, on behalf of Telangana Library Association, Madam, on behalf of Telangana Library Association, we are ready to partner with you. And you start with Telangana because today you are talking you have offered partnership to do activity in the different states. We will be happy to join with you, and we can partner with you, and you start activity from Telangana. With this experience, we can move forward to other states.
Sure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.